Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live, and there is a lot going on in football at the moment. A lot of injuries for Arsenal, a lot of stress for Arsenal fans, worry because they're dropping like flies. Tomiyasu out, Saka injured for England. Did he need to play? Did he need to go? We're going to be asking these questions. Obviously, we've got the Champions League and Bournemouth preview as well. Kai is on fire. In fact, in 2024, he has the same amount of non-penalty goals as Haaland. But do Arsenal still need to go and search for a striker? We're going to be asking that question as well. And of course, the biggest story at the moment, Thomas Tuchel has become the England manager. But what impact will that have on the Arsenal players? Will Ben White get another opportunity to play for England again? Obviously, Saka is going to be the star boy because he is for England. Declan Rice, but will potentially Ethan Nwaneri get a little nod for the England camp as well? I'm joined by Steve, Kay, and Melvin Marks. How you doing, boys?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good, thank you.
Yeah, good. Thanks. Kieran, absolutely well, thank you. Very well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. That's good. Let's get underway. Obviously, Steve, let's start off with the biggest story in football at the moment. Thomas Tuchel is set to become the new England head coach. A deal which will see him earn in excess of $6 million a year, around about the same amount as what Fabio Capello was. A manager with vast amount of experience in the Premier League as well. He was very keen to come back to England after his stint at Chelsea. And he looks like he's going to be taking up the England job. What's your thoughts on that first before we speak about the connection with Arsenal as well?
Yeah, I mean, as far as England are concerned, for me, it's a good appointment. When you look at the managers that are out there that's available at the moment, he probably stands pretty high on the list of managers who are out of job. So yeah, to me it was a bit of a no-brainer. Be interesting to see how he does now. He's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I think he's going to have a lot of pressure. I'm in a very small category, I know, but I don't think Gareth Southgate's nearly as bad as what people made out. Let's go and see if now Thomas Tuchel can do what Gareth Southgate done, and then let's see what fans that have flagged Gareth Southgate off for the last however many years have got to say after that. That'd be interesting to see. Yeah, look, it's a good thing. He's best of a bad bunch that was out there. I say a bad bunch. He's a top manager. I can't come away from that. I think if you're really into your international football, I mean, I can't say I really get into the international football and sort of tournaments, and then I take an interest. But I think for people who are really into it, daily and go matches and go these stupid friendlies, as far as I'm concerned, will be excited, over the appointment. And so a good appointment for England, I'd say.
All right, Melvin, what's your thoughts on the appointment of Thomas Tuchel? Do you think there was many other options, or do you think England thought long and hard over this one?
I think it's a magnificent appointment. I think it's fantastic. He's one of the top managers out there. And what I don't understand is why a lot of Premier Division teams who are slightly struggling didn't go after him. Because he's right up there. I think we're very lucky to get someone like him, that he would want to come and manage our country. We have got a lot of talent. We've done all right, but we could have done a lot better. I never warmed to Southgate. I mean, now that he's not manager of England anymore, they might name a station after him. Who knows? But as far as Arsenal players go, I feel sorry for Kai Havertz. He's never going to get picked for England now, is he? Never got with him at Chelsea. So I feel really upset. I don't know what we're going to do. I think it's a bit of, it's a bit sad. But let's hope that, Havertz can just continue the form he's in and don't worry about not getting picked for England. I hope it doesn't weigh on his shoulders, as some players do.
I think he can over that one.
You think so? Right, good. I think, Saka will play under any manager. Any manager worth a grain of salt will pick him.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Wari, if I can get his name right, Ethan, I call him Ethan in future. He's not ready yet for Arsenal, so he ain't going to be ready yet for England. We don't know what happened to one of our other players we bought from Southampton that did that when he played for
Theo Walcott.
a Theo job. Yeah, we don't do any of that. We want him slowly come in the team, build it up, and I reckon by January, February, he'll be getting many, not just a few, quite a few minutes. He'll grow into this team. I really think that'll happen. And England will come knocking, don't worry. Whoever the manager is, England will come knocking. With the other players, who else we've got? Ben White, yeah, he should get. Why shouldn't Ben? On ability, players should get in on ability to do the job. And I think he's as good, if not better, than any other right back we've got. So if he doesn't kick, then it's a joke. It's become more political than I worried it might be if he doesn't get in. I think
it's not a matter of him getting in, though, is it? It's the fact that he doesn't want to play.
Well, it's chicken and egg, though, Steve. Why didn't he want to play? Because he thought that there were the guys above him, the management, he didn't see eye to eye with. Now that management has gone, that might all change.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But if Tuchel picks him and he plays, it'll put the end to a long-standing argument on the reason why he wasn't playing in the first place. If
I was Ben White, Steve, I would first thing in the morning say, I want to play for England again. It's like putting two fingers up to Southgate and the other geezer. That's what I would do. I'm ready. When the manager's ready, I'm ready to play. That way, he comes out of it smelling the roses. And if he doesn't get picked, not his fault.
James says, evening all, not happy with the Tuchel appointment at all personally. Don't like him and his attitude personally. Proven track record, though, I guess. I mean, that's probably the most important thing, is the proven track record. Steve, just on Ben White, let's go back to Ben White. Obviously, there's been a lot. There was not a lot said about the Ben White situation and people filling in the gaps and making up the stories. But then it came out pretty much confirmed more recently once Carsley had spoken to him. And that sort of confirmed the situation with Steve Holland.
Is he still there, Steve Holland, with Carsley?
No, but it's I can't say it's the apple's too far from the tree. If I'm honest, we're talking about. I suspect the reason why he didn't want to get involved in the Carsley situation is maybe the Carsley situation is short term. Maybe he sees the Carsley and the Gareth Southgate situation as something very similar. Do you just following up from what you said to Melbourne? Do you think that Ben White will ever play for England again? Do you think he's going to stay away from the England camp?
I don't think it's rubber stamped that he'll play. Look, we will see. We will see. Look, he's a flip of the coin. If I had my way, I'd rather him stay at Arsenal. I mean, it's always club before country as far as I'm concerned. What England do, and until it gets to the Europa, to the competition, I really couldn't care less what they do, what they play. Am I saying terrible? But really, it don't float my boat at all. So, but look, Ben White, for me, it's up to him. Do you know what I mean? If he feels that he wants to play, then good luck to him and go and play. It's a big question to ask. Whether he will or not. The Carsley one's an interesting thing because obviously Carsley come out. Obviously, he probably would have. He should have been in that squad. He should be in any England squad. He's with the best right backs in England. So there's no any England manager who don't pick him shouldn't be England manager or shouldn't be a manager just End of. So that's ridiculous. So if he's not playing, they've either got the ump with him because he's said, look, I don't want to play, and they said, right, okay, if you didn't want to play, if you didn't want to be in the squad, you're not going to be in the other squads. But what I will say is that I do think Thomas Tuchel might have a different way of looking at this. And
maybe approach him.
Yeah, I do think he's a football man. Thomas Tuchel is what I would call old school.
Mm-hmm.
He's a type of manager that I probably was quite surprised he's got an England job. Probably 2 years ago, if someone said to me he's going to be England manager, I would have gone, "Oh, shut up!" No, he's a club manager.
Yeah.
So because of it's Thomas Tuchel, I would say that there may be a chance that Ben White will say, yeah, and Kai Havertz might have a word with him and say, look, Tuchel's a good guy. Jorginho might say, look, Ben, top bloke, Tuchel, you should go and play.
Yeah.
You got that in his ears as well. And if he does, then go and play. Ben White simply just did not like certain people, surrounding the squad, and he told them to go and do one. And and look, maybe if there's a little bit of my personality in there as well, but I respect that. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to be around certain people, then you don't have to do it. A lot of people come out with making up stories, like you said, before you ask the question. Even when people were like telling you exactly what went on, people were still wanting to make up stories afterwards and making themselves look stupid. Even when it come out of the Athletic, and they said something did go on. 100% did go on.
Yeah.
Holland said this. Southgate stuck up for him. Ben White said, well, you can stick your squad up your arse. But still afterwards, people come out and said, well, why did he not, but yeah. So look, I'm going on. I think because it's Tuchel, I think there's that possibility that he could play again, yeah.
All right. And Melvin, do you think there's a possibility that Tuchel might take a different stance with Ben White and maybe approach him, and we could see Ben White in the England squad again?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Yeah, but to be honest with you, I'm not England. I want England to win when I see the results, but I've never watched them. The last 2 games they've played, I think I've watched 2 minutes of it.
No, yeah, same.
I've got no interest. It's great for England, for people supporting England more than I do, that he's manager. I think it'd be interesting for the game, for our game. I think it'd be interesting for the crowd. It'd be a new way of playing football, whether that's good or bad. It can't be worse, in my opinion, the type of football we played. It'll make certain players that have been absolutely, what I saw, not the last 2 games, but going back to the last 18 months. Don't know how they kept their position in the team, but he'll make a few changes. He's got nothing. He doesn't have to defend anything. So he goes in there and he does the job. And I think it'll be fine. I really do. For people, I feel happy for people that support England, because they'll have they could start cheering. We're going to win the World Cup again. It's coming home. I can hear it now, and outside in the window, I can hear them all singing. It's coming home. So that'll get that going, won't it?
Certainly will. Well, we will see what the impact the appointment has for the England players that play for Arsenal. And until then, it's just a guessing game. Next up, this one. We've seen it so many times again. But is this the straw that broke the camel's back? Tomiyasu out again for another month. Out with a knee injury at the start of the season, which kept him out for the first couple of months of the season. And played a few minutes against Southampton, but now he's had another injury setback. Is this the end for Tomiyasu at Arsenal? Steve, another injury for Tomiyasu. It's very frustrating. Must be frustrating for the player, but for the fans as well, especially in a time when we did have a few injuries in defensive positions. You expect someone like Tomiyasu to pop in there, and he's not available again. Is it time to cash in on the defender?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going that way, isn't it? It's he's, when we've seen him play, he's fantastic. He can take anybody's spot in the team. I mean probably anybody whose position he plays in. Right back, left back, even left side, he's centre back. He can you know, if he starts to get a run together, he can get a run in the side himself. But he just can't get a run going. And the injuries now, you know, it's to me it's got a little bit of Kieran Tierney about this. Do you know what I mean? A very similar situation where he soon as actually it's probably worse than Kieran Tierney. You know, at least Tierney used to come back and have a few games or run of games, but Tierney he just can't seem to get through injuries. And we did a show, you know, before the season started, and we said about, you know, should we sell Tomiyasu? And I think the overriding sort of thing was that no, we didn't want to. But if you kept these injuries up, or he was to go down again, you know, that I think that would be it. And yeah, look, with a heavy heart, I mean, I love Tomiyasu. He fits into the squad perfectly. You know, he's that big, strong, you know, opposing defender, can play anywhere across the back line. He's perfect for Arsenal, but he's not perfect if he's not fit. And you know, we say about selling him, but you know, who's going to buy him? You know, for a start, if someone keeps going down with injuries, it's going to be hard to get rid of him. I mean, look at Tierney at the moment. I mean, I keep asking around all the time about what's happening with Tierney, what's happening with Tierney. There's nothing on Kieran Tierney. He's never going to play for Arsenal again. But everybody's saying no interest from anybody at the minute. No, and I think this will happen with Tomiyasu as well. Two excellent players, but both like, you know, nobody's going to buy them. And the most saddest thing of all is that, you know, maybe it could end up, you know, ending their careers early. But look, I mean, a short answer to this question, mate, is yeah, if we can move him on, and someone does come in and offers us money for him, I think now, you know, again with a very, very heavy heart, because I'm a big fan, I think we need to let him go, mate.
Yeah, it seems to be a problem that's not going. Melvin, Tomiyasu, is it time to move on from Tomiyasu?
He might have one more roll with the dice, I think, because they've just given him a big contract, haven't they? I think as far as injuries are concerned, if it wouldn't be for bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all, would he? It's such a shame because he can play across the back four, and he's speed, he's strong, he reads the game very well. He's got everything, and he's good in the air. Forget how good in the air he is. That's such a shame. Such a shame. How did he do it? I don't remember us playing a game. Did he only came on for a few minutes? Didn't he?
That's the problem. That's the problem, Mel.
Yeah.
That's the problem with these type of injuries. There's not like he's not playing games and getting tackled and getting injured. He's breaking down all the time in training, and that's a big massive red flag. You know,
yeah, because that's not even full tilt. James said best ability is availability. Love Tomiyasu and his versatility is important. However, we can't keep up with these injuries. Him and Zinchenko and Tierney will all go break a bank on Hato. That's the only thing is like the thing is, James, you're talking about a player who it's got to be that balance with the player that you bring in. It's going to be very hard to sort of try and persuade a player of this ability that you're talking about. It's that the Ajax player, isn't it? One of the sort of best up-and-coming youngsters in world football. So it's like, I think we've got to think outside the box, a bit like what Tomiyasu was. No one really knew too much about Tomiyasu when he came in at Arsenal. When you got the defence of Ben White, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, and you're trying to add on someone who's meant to be a first-team player on stage, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I think it's going to have to be a bit outside the box. Russ says Tomiyasu has been out longer totally than Kieran Tierney. Steve, this is Tomiyasu's first season at Arsenal. Started off well, injuries, out for most of the season in the end. Second season at Arsenal, started off well, same again. Towards the end of the season, out for a long while with injuries, and looks to be the same pattern again. Back at Arsenal, out, but again, could only play a few minutes here and there just to get his fitness up, get some minutes, and then out again here as well. So it's the same story with Tomiyasu, again and again and again. And it's
it's a shame, mate. It's a massive shame because each time we come back, he comes back. You're just praying, and every time he goes in for a tackle, or when you do see him, as I say, most of his injuries are coming on the training pitch, which for me is like a massive red flag. But look, there's always hope. Do you know what I mean? There's always hope. But if you was to put a bet on it, you would be saying let's move him on. And and we seem to have a problem with our left backs, don't we? Tomi Ashu. I mean, Timber went down. Mm-hmm. He's back now. Fingers crossed, he's fine. Zinchenko. He's always out with the odd injury.
Forgot about him. Is he still on the books?
Tierney and Tomi Ashu. So yeah. I think Zinchenko's still on the books, but I don't think his injury is bad. His injuries are as bad as what Tomi Ashu and Tierney's are. But and that's probably what's keeping Zinchenko at the club at the moment. Yeah. Because we've got so many injuries with other people. You can't let Zinchenko leave when you've got Tierney and Tomi Ashu who just can't even, get on the training pitch without pulling something. So
Tierney's still out from an injury that happened in June, isn't it? Before the end of the season, Tierney's been out since with Sociedad, and he's it's a big
another shame. What a player!
Maybe they will look in they won't be looking in January, I don't feel. Maybe they will look at someone at the end of the season. If the injuries do, but at the moment you're keeping your fingers crossed that Zinchenko can get back, don't you?
Yeah,
we've got fit right backs and left backs now. With the injuries, we've still got two very, very good fullbacks.
We had to play Thomas Partey the other day. Ben White's injured.
But not now. I think he's back. And Ben White, is he in training?
I've not had any injury updates, but Ben White was one of the players that's been missing for the last 3 games for injury. Ben White should return.
Timber back, hopefully, as well.
I don't see any news on Ben White at the moment. Don't see any news on Ben White's injury update. One injury update which will have Arsenal fans breathing a sigh of relief is Bukayo Saka. Limped off the other day. Steve, was there a worry there at that point?
Oh, mate, massive worry. But at the same time, he's always getting injured, isn't he, for England? This is what these England matches really like. If you could have heard me through if you was a fly on the wall when these England matches and Saka went down, I was absolutely fuming with these bloody Nation League games. There was but
can I just say something? Can I just say something? I think Arsenal players play 10% of their matches. 10% say their matches are for their country, and yet we get 60% of injuries through these internationals. How can that be? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Probably because they go
10% of our injuries. We should get 10% of our injuries through internationals. Not exactly, but I'm talking about law of averages. We see, for 10%, we get about 60 or 70% of our injuries when they're on international break. It's a joke, absolutely.
Yeah. But Saka's always going down with something, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? In most games, he's limping, isn't he?
Well, you're not surprised, is it?
But we don't. When we see him limping, like for us, I suppose we accept it, don't we? Do you know what I mean?
I don't like seeing him limp ever. No. I get annoyed when he gets kicked. I do get annoyed because he doesn't get any protection from the ref.
But we know he does get. But we know he does get kicked, and we know that he does. He's always getting knocks, isn't he? We know that. What I don't like is when he's getting knocks for England, when it meaningless friendlies. It does. Football's football, and when he's playing for your club, you expect injuries. I do anyway. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like Man City fans who, like, as soon as they get down an injury, they want to write down 500 excuses of what's going to happen in 38 games. Just put that in there.
Ben White and Timber face late fitness tests for the game against Bournemouth on the weekend. So, yeah, we could be lucky. Timing could be right, but we did have to just have a game with Thomas Partey at right back. And although he had a pretty decent game,
he did, didn't he?
It's not what we want to. It's not what we want to have to do, especially when we've got so many defenders on the books. Yeah,
we've got Lewis Skelly as well, haven't we? Who's obviously you don't want to see him starting.
Yeah, not yet.
So you can't really count him. I've seen people say, "Oh, we've got Lewis Skelly." I said, "Well, what is that a good thing? Is it?" That ain't a good thing, is it?
Good for the future. It's not particularly
plus he's a central midfielder. The reason why he's playing at fullback because it's probably one of the least exposed positions in that position. If he can't play centre midfield at 17 in the Arsenal team, like central midfield, at least 1 year is more of an attacking midfielder. So you've got players behind him that can support, but. Yeah, so
I think like just on what Melvin said about Saka, the only thing was with him, even if you buy someone, as a sort of like someone to help him out, he's someone you never want to be taken off, do you? He's someone, he's someone that can do something. It's okay if you get the game done in like 30 minutes or so off, 30 minutes to go, you bring him off. But Premier League don't really work like that, does it?
No, it doesn't. And we saw Martinelli get injured as well, another injury. But I think we're kind of covered in those positions. We've got Trossard who can come in and play in that position as well. And obviously the injury to Ødegaard. Have you heard much about the injury to Ødegaard, Steve? It seems to be a lot of contradicting reports. You hear that he's back after international duty, then you hear that there's an injury setback. What have you heard on the latest of that one?
Well, the latest I've heard is that he's still on schedule for coming back. In November, the beginning of November. Mm-hmm. So he's training at the moment. He's training well. He's in the gym. I think he put up a video yesterday of him, and he looked like he was working hard, building up his muscles. Yeah. So for what they do, that's what they do, isn't it? They go in the gym, build up their muscles because they haven't played for a while, and once they build up that muscle strength again, then they'll go onto the football, go onto the grass, and they'll start working. I think he's good. He can kick a ball around now, and he can do all that. He just needs to build up his muscles up. You don't want him going down with an hamstring injury or something like that, or pulling a calf muscle or something like that, which can happen when you've been out for a while with any type of injury. You need to build up that muscle strength. But yeah, look, he's good. There was rumours going about that he had gone a setback. That was sort of like put to bed. Look, thank God that he is fine because he's certainly someone we need back quick.
Steve, what's the latest with Martinelli?
I don't think it's not serious, mate. It's nothing. I think it was just like a little pull. I think out of the like Ødegaards and out of all of them, his was the less serious. I'm pretty sure Martinelli and Saka, they'll both start Saturday. I don't think there's anything in it.
Good. We've seen the form of Kai Havertz as one of the top strikers in the Premier League this season. As I said before, in 2024, Havertz has scored the same amount of non-penalty goals as Erling Haaland, 19 goals contributions in 2024 so far. Absolutely smashed it this season. Set to match an Arsenal record next if he scores in the Champions League at home, isn't it? Kai Havertz absolutely on fire at the moment, Steve.
Yeah.
But do Arsenal need to curb their search for another centre forward, or should they keep on looking as well?
I think they should keep looking. Mm-hmm. They're always looking, mate. Arsenal are looking at players all the time. You know, so there won't be, obviously with we've sold Eddie Nketiah, and with obviously Gabriel Jesus is obviously off form a bit though. He's finding it hard to find the net, and he's not playing well at the moment. So you know, you got to be ruthless in this game. Do you know what I mean? So Arteta will be looking, and I think we should look. What type of striker we should be looking for is the question. I think more is the question. You know, what is Arteta, what is Edo looking at? What does the team need? Which is probably like is mainly what your question's asking, mate. But I don't. I feel that we need to look at someone. I don't think we need someone to replace Havertz. I'm quite happy with Kai Havertz being our number 9. I think he's going from strength to strength. I mean, if you've already read out his stats for this season, you know, taking away penalties is equaling what Haaland's done. So you're not going to be going into the market and looking at £100 million strikers when you've got someone who's, you know, up there competing with the best striker on the planet. Yeah. That would be absolutely mental. You know, crazy thinking. You know, anybody who's thinking, let's go and get 100 million, this 100 million, that, you've got to be off your nut. And I'm pretty sure Arteta and Edu are not doing that. But I do think we possibly should be looking quite hard. That's like a younger player, someone who can come into the squad, someone to literally replace Nketiah. You know, because we haven't done that, and because of Jesus isn't doing what we really want him to do, which is come on and make an impact, because that's what he is at the moment. He's like that impact player to come on and do something. And the big question is, mate, if Havertz goes down injured, we've got to put Jesus up there. We need someone who's going to come on and can score goals and who's playing well. At the moment, that's not Jesus. But I do believe we need someone, a squad player, not someone who's like 70, 80 million, because they won't come anyway. So it's irrelevant thinking it anyway. But yes, I think we do. Not to replace Kai Havertz though, but to someone to bring in, to someone who can come on and look at, you know, someone who can score us a goal, or if Kai goes down injured, then they can replace him and we can have the confidence of him doing the business for us.
Yeah. Melvin, do you think Arsenal need to keep on searching for another centre forward, as Steve said, to replace Eddie Nketiah or give competition to Kai Havertz? Or do you think Kai is the man and they maybe recruit from within or deal with what they got?
No, you've got to go and look for someone else. Need number 2. We can't rely on Jesus, I'm afraid, at the moment. He seems out of sorts, and hopefully he'll come back to his best. But when is that going to be? I don't know. Yeah, we need another top striker. I mean, I think I might have said it before. Someone like the Brighton centre forward, the boy up top, who was a world beater a year or two ago, got injured, and his mate can't get back in the Brighton team. He might be the top.
Evan Ferguson.
Yeah,
he's another one though, isn't he? He's another one that can't stay fit for 5 minutes.
Is it one injury, Steve, or little injuries he's been having?
Just little knocks. Maybe so. Maybe so. I think there's a question mark on whether he could come in and be like make a difference at like title level. If we need him to win us a top football match, and but I mean, he might be able to. You might know a little bit more about him than me, Mel. So
no, I just think he's the kind of guy that will think to himself, well, if I play a bit part the next season or so, I could be the number 1 striker in a couple of years here. How bad's that?
Ooh.
Sacrifice a little bit to go on for it, you know.
Yeah.
On his day, he was very, very good.
Oh, he was, mate. Striker. Yeah.
I'll tell you one I've always liked. We're not going to get him, but just someone who's always looks dangerous. Whoever he plays against is the Brentford forward, the left-footed geezer who plays on the right-hand side.
He's a winger, isn't he? Though, isn't he? He's not.
He's so dangerous.
Mwamba.
Mwamba,
what his name is. Yeah.
I like him.
I mean, he does play centre forward as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Webro.
He's good. I think he would fit into our team. Really would.
Yeah. I think Ferguson, when he first come onto the scene,
he was outstanding.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember liking him and talking to someone and liking him to the next Harry Kane.
Yeah.
But then he fell off like a cliff.
Well, sorry, just on that, Steve.
And
At
then,
the start of last season, he barely played and was not even in the squad. And then he got back into the squad and had an injury towards the end of last season. Prior to that, I think last season he got 6 goals in 27 games. Season before was a little bit 19 games, 8 goal contributions, and the season, and that was his first season. So the season that Melvin was talking about, but last season in the squad, and then towards the end of the season, ankle injury. So is that just that one injury? But it's more. The worry is more. Why is he not playing?
Yeah.
Is he not developing as well as what was first thought?
It could be that. It could be. No, I think it's João Pedro's keeping him out,
and Danny Welbeck,
and Danny Welbeck. Which, then when you think about, look, I think with even Ferguson, I think I agree with Melvin, because I think I look at Evan Ferguson and straight away I remember the times when I first see him play, and he was unreal. Do you know what I mean? It's like I said, I was thinking this is the next Harry Kane, this kid. Do you know what I mean? And they say then he fell off, but at this moment in time, now you're looking at it from a different sort of angle. You're looking at it from, like you said, Welbeck's in front of him. João Pedro's in front of him. Why are they in front of him? Could we buy an Evan Ferguson? And if Kai goes down injured, could he come along in a quarter-final Champions League game and do the business? I don't think I would want to risk it now on him before I'd seen him for another season for Brighton. Do you know what I mean?
I think
it would be a risk.
I think the transfer valuation previously they were talking about 70 million when he first came on the scene and started doing well. Yeah, which is crazy, and now his transfer value's dropped to 45 million, and you could probably get him cheaper if
that's 45 probably a little bit toppy as well. Actually,
you'd probably get him cheaper than that. To everyone, Russ says we do need an elite level striker. I'm not having Havertz to continue as the first choice striker. Steve, what you saying about that one? No,
I'm not having it, mate. I'm not having it. Sorry, Russ. Look, I mean, he's at the moment, at this moment in time, as we speak, how can you not? He's undroppable. Even Chelsea fans have now turned him round and go, look, I was wrong. What I said, even they have to hold their hands up now and say, yeah, look, he's doing what Erling Haaland's doing for Man City. So how can you, if you're Mikel Arteta, there is no way on this God-given planet you are going to go and buy an elite striker for 80 million, 100 million when you've got Kai Havertz doing what you do. You'd have to be off your deck to do that.
Man. Let me just ask Russ, who would you class as an elite striker that you think Arsenal should target? Melf, on Russ's response there, he says we need an elite level striker. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course, we do. Because I'll tell you why we need an elite striker. Because Kai Havertz got out of trouble the other day against Southampton because his equaliser came just after they scored, not long. And he took it well, made it, took the ball and did what he had to do and smashed it in. We need strikers to do more like that. We're not ruthless enough. We need another ruthless striker.
But who do you class as elite that would come to our club?
Well, that's two questions in one. Who do I think's elite and who do I think will come? It's not necessarily the same player.
But it is the same in a way. Like it is the same question, isn't it? Because they've got to want to, they've got to want to come to the club and they've got to be elite. So it is a question that there's no use. I mean, look, we all love Isaac, don't we? He ain't coming to Arsenal to sit on a bench.
No way.
And fight his place with Kai Havertz. So, but I know this is what people think. They go, yeah, go and get Isaac. And it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I think Man City would struggle to get an Isak when they've got a Haaland in front of them. So I'm not saying Havertz is Haaland, so slow your roll, people. But what I'm saying is it's very hard to attract a striker when they're looking at what Arsenal have got currently right now, and then go, do you know what? I think I can take the spot.
The biggest example of this is Julian Alvarez. In the end, he got fed up.
Yeah. And he didn't even come in as an elite striker, did he?
No, but he
came as a relative. Made his name.
So you've got to find a Julian Alvarez, right, of when he first come to Manchester City, when nobody had heard of him, right, and he made himself who he was. As soon as he made himself who he was, it was see you later. And that was Man City, apparently the best team on the planet. Man City, Ireland, we're going to win Champions League. Elite strikers, I don't care. I don't care who you are, who I'm playing for. If you don't start me, I'm going.
Yeah, Man City struggled to keep Bernardo Silva happy when he wasn't playing week in, week out. How many times he's talking about wanting to go to Barcelona, and it's only once they play him regularly week in, week out now that he sort of calmed that one down.
Do you know what? I think like you are looking at, there was a player that I was told that Arsenal liked a little while ago. I've already mentioned him. And you're looking at someone like a João Pedro who could come on.
James will take João Pedro from Brighton as well.
Yeah, there you go, João Pedro, because he's done it at the top levels. He's done it. He's doing it for Brighton. Fair enough. He's not a Brighton player. I think he could step up to the level. And if he played for Arsenal, I think he'd step up another level. And also Benjamin Sesko. He's done it in the Champions League. He's done it for his country. He does it for his club. Do you know what I mean? And, that's why Arsenal are going for him. That's the type of striker Arsenal are looking for.
You got another one agreeing with you, Mel. And Melvin would be amazing signing. Havertz and Mbeumo together would be amazing for us. And that's when he said that I'd take Petra as well. Russ has said, so Steve thinks Isak's off the table. I think he would jump at the chance to join Arsenal.
Who's that? What was that?
Russ said he thinks that Isak would jump at the chance to join Arsenal.
What, and sit on the bench?
He won't sit on the bench, Steve. Forget him. He won't sit on the bench. If we find something like that,
I'll tell you something now. Mikel Arteta is not paying 100 million for Isak.
Oh, no, I'm not saying to pay 100, but if he came to Arsenal, irrespective of the fee, he ain't sitting on the bench, is he?
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, look, I know you're saying it's respectful of the fee, but I have to look at it like how it is. I can't look at like FIFA, PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? The fact is that it's just not happening. Alexander Isak would not be an Arteta would never buy him unless he was probably about 50 million, and he would. You can't. You don't. I don't think Havertz would sit on the bench. Not at first he wouldn't.
I think, first of all, Isak, number one, we ain't going to get him, I agree. But number two, I think he's also got a little bit of an injury problem, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't think we should be doing that. I like the geezer, the one who played for Coventry. I like him.
That
is a player.
I think I agree. I think Goykeres is the top end of what you might be able to get to come into Arsenal, and would be that rotation squad player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would put the pressure on whoever's up front, but he's not going to be kicking up a stink because he's coming from the Portuguese league. He's been in the Championship.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I agree.
I don't know how you sell it to Isak when
Isak, forget that. Isak,
we've missed the boat there.
We've missed the boat with Isak. There's a couple of Newcastle players we missed the boat with. Him and their captain we missed the boat with, right?
But we would.
Right. So forget about that.
He says, I think Sesko would come back on the scene, and he's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 6 games in the Bundesliga. Do you see Sesko as a player that Arsenal would be able to attract and be a squad player, first team squad player, Steve?
100%, mate. 100%. At the price he is, at his release clause.
How old is he?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I think, he's only young. He's young, isn't he? He's young. Yeah, he's only young.
What's young?
But again, I think I'm not 100%.
21.
I mean,
It's 21.
It's
Oh, fair
21.
enough. I thought if someone's 24-5, then that ain't going to happen, is it?
No.
Yeah, he's very similar to Havertz as well, isn't he? The way in height, in the way he's strong. He's a bit of a likes a bit of shit housery. He's he gives a bit. Do you know what I mean? You can see why Arteta was really pushing for him in the summer. But a main and big reason why they was pushing for him as well was because of the form of Kai Havertz, and they totally blown. They was never going to pay 100 million for someone. I think Sesko was around about 45 million. I think his release clause was around about that. I think they may have put it up a little bit since then. But look, fair play to Sesko. He said, "Look, at the end of the season, I'll rethink. He said, but at this moment in time, I don't think I'm ready for the step up, and I want to play first team football regularly and improve my game, which I thought top man. You know that is brilliant for me. And I think Arteta would have probably thought, yeah, we'll keep an eye on you, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a good mentality.
Yeah,
yep,
like that.
Yeah. I like that.
It is.
Yeah.
Russ says, you buy Isaac and phase Havertz out, he would still get game time in cups. And then James says, God, Keras ain't sitting on the bench. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's very good.
I want to see that celebration.
I think he's very good.
Yeah, you want someone like a Gikores, you want someone like a Sesko for me is the type of striker I think that we would want.
Yeah.
To who you could be sitting on that bench, and if you do need to change something up at some point, or if Havertz is injured, you look over there and look. As much as I love Kai Havertz, if Havertz gets injured, Sesko Gikores come in. You know, you're confident that you got two players there. You know, can score goals, powerful, and if they do the business, then they keep their place. That's the way it works in football. Do you know what I mean? And then because you need a squad. You know, you need a squad, and that's why I think Man City will have problems this year because they haven't replaced Alvarez. And if Ireland goes down, you're done. You're done.
Yeah. All right. So the general consensus is yes, Arsenal still do need to keep their eye open for another striker, especially with Gabriel Jesus not in the best of form and not being clinical. He's coming around to
do we think
9 months? 9 months without a goal.
Do we think he's going to come back? Do we think he's going to?
Who?
Jesus.
Well, I don't think we have an option in terms of like giving him game time. I think we have to. We have to be smart with Havertz. We have to be smart with the squad. We've got to start using this team as a squad and not just playing them when a player's injured or things like that. We need to be rotating this team. And I hope to God he does, because an on-form Gabriel Jesus is a player who gets in most squads, if I'm honest, and he's dangerous. One of the best dribblers we've got in the team. He just needs to be clinical. He just needs to get a goal so he can get the pressure off and sort of be a bit more composed in front of the sticks. So I hope he does come back. I really do hope he does come back. Daniel's in there. What's he saying? He's saying Jesus will be back. He says Jesus is done. I think he has zero confidence. He's trying to take manifest opportunities. Well.
Yeah. Jesus is what we need. If he's the Jesus we know. We don't need to buy anybody if we've got him doing what he can do.
Joe says he didn't come back at Easter, so I don't think he'll come back now. I had conversations with Melvin last week, but I'd love nothing more than to be proved wrong. I think we all do want to see that. I think James, you're right. We do want to see Jesus back because he's a top player. Then he says fans written off players again. Well, they want to be proved wrong. They want to be proved wrong, Daniel. Okay, back again down in Southampton or against a team from the coast, but this time it's Bournemouth, Steve. Probably a bit more of a trickier game this weekend.
Yeah,
a game Arsenal should definitely be getting 3 points in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, these are the type of games that we should be going to, like you said. Getting in, getting out, getting the 3 points, and and going on to the next one. But Bournemouth, they've got a decent side. They've got good players. We've spoken about our injuries. We're assuming everybody's back. I think Saka will play. I think Martinelli will play. Havertz will obviously play. Be interesting to see what he does in the midfield. Is this a game now to bring Mourinho in? That'll be interesting to see if he will.
Do you think it is a game to bring him in?
Yeah, why not, mate?
He's
Why
playing
not?
for Spain tonight. He's fit enough, isn't he?
Oh yeah. He's fit. He's fit. I think it's a good game to bring him in. He might have to come in anyway because of we could have. The more I'm thinking, we could have selection problems, couldn't we? You look at the defence. We're hoping that Timber's back. White doesn't look like he's going to start. Timber looked like he probably will start more than anybody. So that probably will, see Partey back right back again.
Oh, don't
which
say that.
I see a comment early from James, and I think he's spot on. Up against Cliver and Semenyo, who I like a lot. I think he could cause problems for Partey. Maybe Rice and Mourinho in the middle of the park there would be able to help him out, and because they're two monsters who can get all over the pitch, and maybe they can get over to that right hand side and help him out. But we should win. We got to win these games, mate. Do you know what I mean? If we've got any ambitions of winning the titles, we've got to go to places like Bournemouth and win. And I'm expecting a win by at least a couple of goals. But the team's like, I don't know what the comments think. It'd be interesting to see what they think, and on whether Partey would play at right back and whether Mourinho would play in the midfield. So please comment, let us know what you think. I'm a little bit one way or the other, but we look like we've got a problem at right back. So Partey for me looks like he's going to start. So, but he had a good game against Southampton. He did, but then again, he wasn't tested a lot.
It was against
maybe
Southampton,
tested.
remember?
Yes, so I said he wasn't tested a lot, and he probably is going to be. I tell you what, I remember Cliver when he first came to the Premier League. I thought you're nothing like your dad, mate. But I've seen him in recent weeks, and he's improved.
Justin Clivert's all right. He's not
all
a
right.
bad player.
He is.
Big shoes to fill, Steve.
Massive.
Well,
massive. But you do. It's the name, isn't it?
Proper player.
It's the name. Yeah, you ain't as good as your dad.
Yeah.
Nowhere near it, mate. Nowhere near it.
Patrick Cliver, mate. Not a bad centre forward.
But no, he looks all. But seriously though, you take away Patrick Cliver, he's decent. So, I'll be happy with 1-0, mate, in and out. Let them cause boring again.
Yeah. Melvin, Bournemouth preview. Any worries in this game? Will be a game where we breeze through? I know Bournemouth have caused us a little trouble in the past. We don't make it easy against them, but then again, recently you haven't made it easy against some of the lesser teams, even though we are playing well, at least in the first half.
No game is easy in the Premiership now.
No.
You think about it. No, Man City, Fulham a couple of years ago, you put your house on it. Though they beat them, City beat Fulham, it's 3-2. And there was a couple of situations where it gone the other way. They could have nicked the point, Fulham at the Etihad. So, no, get a win, thank you very much. I don't think we've been playing nowhere near our levels. I don't think Rice has actually got to the levels he had last season. I think we're lacking there. I just think, and also we're missing Odegaard, who is the catalyst. The way we go from defence to attack. He's the guy in the middle that just makes it all happen, and we do miss him. We really do, because I'll tell you something. When we get Marino and Rice in midfield, Odegaard can do what he likes in midfield. He doesn't have to look behind him.
Yeah,
One way. And that
I
makes
can't
a big
wait.
difference.
I can't. The more you talk, Melv, I want to see that Rice and Mourinho partnership with you.
Yeah.
They're
Because I
monsters.
think, they are. They just don't give snow away in the winter, do they? Those two. So it's really, with our defence being as good as it is, although we've had lapses this season, which I don't like, it's a good defence still, very good goalkeeper, and with two midfielders that don't give anything away, that's the basis of an attacking team. Then you can afford to attack without worry, and it's just quite excited. But Bournemouth away, like any other team, home or away, it's not easy. What team have we really put to the sword this year? I don't. We have. I think every game we've been literally holding on. Our buttocks have been quite tight during the last 10 minutes of most games. So whoever we've played, and we've had some easy, on paper and on grass, easy home games, and we've struggled with that. We've got over the line, thank God, but it hasn't been, plain sailing. A year or two ago, we'd have put 3-4-0, to get the cigars out at 75 minutes, but it's not the case this season. So I think we're in third gear. I'd like us to go up the fourth by Christmas and then January, February into fifth and carry on from there. Right, I'm going for 2-0 though, by the way. We'll win 2-0.
2-0. Steve, Havertz closing in on a record. Are we at home this weekend? It's away.
Away.
It's away at both games. Is it away in the Shakhtar? Oh, so the Shakhtar game. Kai Havertz has an opportunity to break a record by scoring in consecutive home games. Shakhtar Donetsk is a good opportunity to do that. Do you think he'd do that?
What's the record? Sorry, what is the record? Sorry.
It's 7 straight home games, I think it is.
Oh, 7. I thought you said 2.
Yeah.
7.
7.
Wow.
But he's equalled Van Persie, isn't it?
It's 6.
7. He's 7.
Was it 7 the other day then?
He's equalled it already at 7 each. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes, he's equalled it. Thierry Henry's is 8. Havertz is 7. Robin Van Persie 7. Thierry Henry 20 in 2000, 8 games.
What, 8 goals on the spin? Yeah.
Best home scoring runs.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he can equal Thierry Henry's record.
And in the Premier League, it's Thierry Henry with 7. So in all competitions, Thierry Henry has 8. Kai Havertz currently has 7.
Yeah. We're not talking about Robin Van Persie anymore. We don't need to. He's done.
You've done that.
He beat that. But I think he's got to do it, mate. The form he's on. Shakhtar, probably one of the easiest games we're going to have, in the Champions League this year. He's our centre forward. Maybe he might even get 1. He might even get 2. He might even go clear of the record, mate. Look, the form that Havertz is on at the moment. He looks like he can score every week. So, but. I think an easy, not an easy 3 points. There's never no such thing as an easy 3 points, but 3 points, I think we should be looking at getting there as well. And then that will put us in in a good position then. So, in the league. So 2 wins and a draw then. But look, Kai Havertz, you can't say anything bad about the guy at the moment. It's not only his goals that
his contribution to the game is.
It's his whole game, and I told people about him at Leverkusen, and what I see, and I wanted him. We did him on the Golden Boy when we did. We used to do them shows. We spoke about Kai Havertz then.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted him at Arsenal then. People got like, oh, look what he's done at Chelsea, but we knew what he was.
Real Madrid were very big fans of Kai Havertz when he was at Leverkusen.
Massive.
And if you watched him at Leverkusen, you saw what kind of player he is. Very versatile, predominantly as a number 10, but spent a lot of the time in at that centre forward position.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But he's doing what he's doing. He's doing that. I mean, he's got that silky. You know, his touch is beautiful at times. You know what I mean? So for him, you know, he's one of these players. You know, you watch him. You know, and you just can't take your eyes off of him. You know, and when you think at the start of the season when people were saying, "Oh, you know, he couldn't stand up or he couldn't do this," now he's just so silky smooth. You know, so beautiful to watch, and just loving him, mate. Probably like I think Bjorn's most favourite Arsenal player, isn't he? You know, if you're watching out there, Bjorn, and he's probably mine as well, just due to the fact that I've just proved everybody wrong again, about him. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to take. Yeah, I don't know if he's taken Xhaka's crown yet from me yet, but he might be getting there.
All right, Melvin. Havertz set to equal Thierry Henry's record if he can do it against Shakhtar. Do you think he can do it this week or take it?
It's going to be nasty, but yes, he could do it. Why not? So it's now we've got so far. It's not that big to go the one more step, is it?
Mm-hmm.
But I think we ought to take a step back. And records are there to be broken, but for me,
Melvin, no one's saying he's Thierry Henry. No one has said he's Henry.
Right, just thinking you're putting.
No one has said he's Henry.
I thought you're making comparisons. Sorry.
No one said
no, mate.
No
comparison.
No way. We're talking about the GOAT. We're talking about the GOAT, mate. No way. I watched some highlights of Henry the other day, and I was still blown away. Like I watch him, I think he's underrated. Like he's so good.
Yes,
he was so good.
Agree.
But people do that though, didn't they? We can big up players, can't we? Can't we big up our players in our team?
I think, Steve, sometimes in life you don't realise what something is until it's gone. I mean, I don't remember. We used to love watching Henry. Yeah, we all did. Mm-hmm. And even we didn't go, wow, look what he's done this week. We just said, yes, that's Henry.
We took it in our stride, didn't we?
Exactly. But he was so good. He was a level above everybody else. He was, even the way when he scored goals, the way he reacted, the way he went past people, he did tricks that I've never seen before. With a look in one way, giving it the other, and he just had everything. He was strong. It was like everyone else was playing in porridge, and he was playing on a snooker table at times. It really was that much different. At home to Leeds, I think he got 4 goals when he ran the half a length of the pitch twice to score. He got 4 goals. It was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It was like he was the 13-year-old boy in the playground playing against 10-year-olds. It was a bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean there's no compare. There's no compare. We're not comparing Henry with. You
can't. It's not fair. Look, if there wasn't such a thing as videos, Steve, right? But there is, I know. If there wasn't such a thing as videos, and then in 40 years' time, people pick up a book because there's no videos and go, oh, look, Henry got 7 goals on the trot at home matches, and this guy, Kai Havertz, got 8. He must be better than Henry. No.
Yeah, but you got to be an idiot, haven't you, to think that?
No.
No. But do you know what I mean? It's like
not if you've never seen them. If you're just looking at a book with saying this geezer's got 7, fantastic. This geezer's got 8. You'll probably think, well, this geezer's got to be a little bit better than this geezer.
But that's probably fair, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is fair.
My granddad's probably talking about someone from the 50s and that, and I don't know. He'd say, "Oh, he was brilliant." You'll see what he was doing. You say Henry was doing that. He was doing that before.
I'd love to see that footage. Of someone in 1928 doing what Thierry Henry does.
This is what people do.
And thick boots. Yeah. With those.
But there's
very heavy footballs do that.
You don't need books now. People can go online. They can watch players and look. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we've gone to Thierry Henry from Havertz.
It's a question. If you get a penalty against Shakhtar, do you reckon Havertz takes the ball and the same against Liverpool to break it? I think they do. I think they would.
Yeah.
I think they would, if I'm honest. I think they would.
Yeah,
like you said, records are there to be broken at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's fair play to him if he does break that record. Steve Trossard got a goal and assist in the international break this week.
Mm.
Do you think he gets the start with Martinelli sidelined for a bit, even though it may have been a precaution? Does Trossard get a start? I know he's started in the last couple of games, but just slightly out of position in his normal position. Do you think he's happy to just be on the pitch, or do you think he wants to be on that left?
I think he's one of these players. He's very versatile, Kears, and I think he thinks he can play in a number of places, not just out on the left. I don't think he is someone who can. Yeah, I mean, look, different people have different, opinions on what type of players are and what they can do. Mm-hmm. Trossard for me is more of I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans will say he's a left-sided player because they see him on the left a lot. To me, he's not that. If you watch him play, to me, he's more of a second striker.
Yeah.
Someone who can get in the box, someone who drops out, someone who can go left, he drops into the number 10. That's a second striker. That's what they do. And that's what I think is his best position. And that's why I think, he's been unbelievable, Trossard, isn't he, since we bought him? I mean, it's just incredible. His numbers, I'm not one for statistics. I mean, I don't need to look at his statistics to know that he's been incredible for Arsenal since he's come to the club. But I wouldn't even know what they are. But he's been unreal. I mean, to say about, whether he's going to start or not. I mean, they could start both of them, couldn't they? Both could play. Trossard maybe plays in the hole in the 10 with Martinelli out wide, and then they can and Trossard can drop in to the forward and get in the box, and Havertz can come out, and we know how Arsenal play. We know how they operate. They move around all over the pitch. And Trossard's one of these players who can move all over the pitch. So that means you can play him in different positions. And that's why Arteta plays him in the 8. He plays him in the 8. We don't like him that much in the 8, but he plays in the 8. He can play in the 10. He can play on the left wing. So, yeah, he's unreal. He's brilliant in the week. And I think for Bournemouth, mate, I think we can play him. I'm quite happy. I'd like to see Martinelli start, because he's hit a bit of form recently, and so I'd like to keep him there and keep him ticking over. But I still think you can play Trossard in the 10 because Odegaard's obviously not there. Then where he's probably still not ready, and then sort of maybe play Mourinho and Rice behind. But Trossard and Martinelli, I think they could both start on Saturday.
Melvin, Trossard has got 33 goal contributions in 77 games since he's joined Arsenal, which is not a bad record. Do you see him getting the nod this week? And I know a few weeks ago, a few fans were saying Trossard looks frustrated, playing a little bit angry, and maybe it's because he wasn't getting the nod, wasn't getting game time. And they said they feel that Arteta needs to manage the team a little bit better in terms of squad rotation. What's your thoughts on that?
I think we could start with him in the 8 or the 10 rather, with Marino and that's without Party, isn't it? But I'd play Marino and Rice in midfield. Mm-hmm. Then you've got room for Trossard, and then with my crystal ball, I like to see with 30 minutes to go, if things are okay, I think we can afford to take Trossard off and put on Ethan for a bit. Because I think with those other two, like I said before, got those two other midfielders on the pitch, the other team are doing nothing, and you can afford to have Ethan doing his tricks and getting into the game and doing things. I think that's the type of game you should play.
And it's the game he made his debut, wasn't it? Against
Bournemouth. For about 2.5 seconds.
Brentford, wasn't it?
Was it Brentford?
Was it? Sorry.
Yes,
I always get those two muddled up.
Yeah, because it was Tony.
When he came on, I thought he was man of the match. But
anyway. So you think you can keep hold of Saliba if we don't win anything in 2 years? Is he the hardest player to replace? Steve, we'll ask that question before we go. Do you think Arsenal can keep hold of Saliba with the pressure of the big Galacticos Real Madrid sniffing around him?
Well, if there's a club that you're going to be worried about losing into, it's probably them, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're obviously going to be worried, and if they come knocking on Saliba's door and start bigging them up, the club up, and yeah, look, we know Saliba as a player. We don't know what goes on in his brain and what he wants to do in his career. So there's always that chance. But look, I'll tell you what, he's not going for anything less than 150 million. So you better have a lot of money, Real Madrid, if he does go. But from what I'm hearing, he's happy. He wants to win titles with Arsenal. He wants to win Champions League with Arsenal. And look, if you've got Real Madrid knocking on your door for your players, we're obviously in a good place, aren't we?
And it's not the only one that rumours are going around for Real Madrid. Today I see a rumour that Real Madrid was sniffing around Bukayo Saka. We don't want that one either. We don't want that one either.
We don't want
we don't want that. Melvin, do you think that Arsenal can keep hold of William Saliba? Do you think they should be worried?
Not in the next couple of years. If we do not win something, I mean, it's got to either be the European or the Premiership. If we don't win in the next 2 years, and we drop off, not even in the top 2 or 3, we're fourth, say, scrape into Europe, I think he'd be off, mate. Sorry to say that.
Well, we don't need that.
Yeah, well, to say they'd have to pay out if that happens. We all know it can happen. You better have some money in your bank. Better be. And if you're talking about you can't go and buy it, they're talking about buying Ireland as well. And you just can't keep buying. You want Ireland, you want Mbappe, you want Saliba as well. And
I ain't going to buy Ireland. Man City don't have to sell anybody to anyone.
No, but it's one of those things like if I don't know whether Pep's going to go next season, but he's one of them managers that says if you don't want to be here and you want to go elsewhere, then you go.
If Man City are in that, to me, look, we all know what Man City are, right? I'm not getting on the Man City finish bandwagon, right? But if you look at Man City from afar, you can see there's a possibility that players are getting old. Pep's going to leave. So if they're not winning Champions League and they're not winning titles, Ireland's not going to stay around.
But they are going to win titles, aren't they?
No, I don't think they are. No, I don't think they are. No. Well, how? Why?
Because they've got the best squad by a mile in their division.
What? 30-year-old Silva, 34-year-old De Bruyne, 34-year-old Walker. Pep won't be there. That's not winning a title.
Well, you don't know. I think they've still got.
Well, who's replacing them?
We will see. They've got a lot of money to do it.
They can buy the best in the world, Steve.
Is Pep
not anymore, mate?
Is Pep going next season?
It looks that way, doesn't it? If it was not that season, it'd be one more season, if not. If that. And a lot of people got to realise Man City can't buy up everybody anymore. It's that transfer world does not work like that. You can't. The days of we got loads of money, we could go and buy me who you want. That's finished with. That's happened. I work every single day in the transfer world. You cannot do that anymore. It's done. Newcastle are the richest club in world football. They can't buy anybody because of the rules. You think Man City are rich? Newcastle Newcastle are 4 times as rich as what Man City will ever be. And Newcastle can't buy nobody because of the rules. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work, and that's why I think Man City. I think this is the time for Arsenal. This is the time for Arsenal.
Newcastle.
I hope so. I hope very much it is the time for Arsenal.
Just one thing before we go. Just one thing before we go, mate. I just want to wish happy birthday to one of my favourite Arsenal players of all time, Mesut Ozil. Watch the little montage of his stuff that he did for Arsenal the other day. If you're an Arsenal fan, go and find it. Go and watch it. He's only 36. He should still be playing. Did some, Melvin must have watched him a lot. He was
world class, but he didn't play every day, did he?
He was definitely world class at Real Madrid, and at times he was world class.
He was amazing, but he didn't do it enough for me. Didn't do it away on a cold night at Chelsea. Not even up north, mate.
Yeah, He's an hard
36.
man, this Melvin,
Crazy.
isn't he? Eh? You want to put me back down to earth.
15th of October. He's a Libra. All the best star. Well, there's another superstar whose birthday is this week. It's my birthday on Friday.
Oh,
So me
happy
and Mesut
birthday,
Özil
mate.
share a birthday.
There
Unbelievable.
we go. There we
On
go.
that note, what a better way to finish off the show. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Pleasure, mate. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Melvin.
Thank you, Kieran. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, James. Great question there at the end, Shane, as well. Russ, thank you for joining us. Daniel, and everyone who's watching us on Twitter. If you are watching us on Twitter, press that like and press that retweet button. And if you're watching it on YouTube, press that like and press that subscribe button. I appreciate your support. Peace out, people. Stay safe. Oh, where are you?